student section has existed for a long time in GCHS history. However, the superfanning at GCHS is relatively new. Before superfanning, students would still come to the games and cheer all the time. It would be more low-key and laid back because there wasn't ever a real established section. There were no themes or leaders of the student section. Sometime in the early 2000s, the superfanning group was created.
The first big superfanning group I remember was with the class of 2008. It had been going on for some time at that point, but that's the first real big one where they really were very good with themes. And so that's kind of where it really got big. The class of 2009 had a huge superfanning section, okay, and was probably one of the most encouraging and vocal. They had a huge incident in the boys basketball game against Johnsburg, in which there was some pushing between the players on the court, and then some of them went on the court and there was a fight between the fans and the basketball team. And Mr. Snyder, the special ed teacher, was on that team. Or after that event, they all got sat down and they got talked to about two things. Number one, obviously their behavior and their fighting, but also the insults that they were saying. And so that kind of mellowed them down a little bit. But that was one of the greatest. Another big part of superfanning was probably the class of 2004. That girls basketball team, led by Ms. Martin and Kayla Ming, made it downstate, okay, for girls basketball. And that's something that I really think was a catalyst to superfanning, because that team was good for 4 years and it kind of built with that class. And so that 2004 was a major year because of the success of the girls basketball team there. So I think that's something that also kind of catapulted it. They weren't really themes then. The themes started building after that year. Themes have increased. Another great superfan moment happened when the seniors were freshmen. It was Kyle Reynolds, Ben Shrimp, Ben, and the main man, Brett Whalen, dressed up as reporters, okay, and made an ESPN desk and did that at the North game, okay? And so that's probably one of the big moments, and that made the Daily Herald.
Yes, to a certain extent. When I was in high school, my freshman, sophomore year, our boys basketball team were really good. They made sectional semifinal. So we used to go to the games a lot. But as far as, and we would, kind of have some chants. I don't remember all of them. And then during football season, same thing. We'd go to the home games, but we weren't very strong in football at that time. So the student section wasn't as big, even though we're losing a lot of those games, sorry guys, no offense, but just, that we haven't had a good record, right. Those stands are still packed. And that wasn't as much the case when I was in high school. We still had a decent amount of home fans at home games. But I remember the away games, I would drive myself, and there would be just the parents and then maybe 5 or 10 of us that would go watch the away games. And then later, my junior, senior years is when we had started having some really good girls basketball teams. The boys team wasn't as good, so we super fanned a lot of the girls games. They went on a pretty deep run, I think, my senior year.
Today, every year, 3 new leaders are selected by the previous year's leaders to run the section. Superfans only go to football games and basketball games. The football games generate the biggest crowds, especially the homecoming game. The leaders are responsible for deciding the theme of games as well as leading chants. Some of these themes include USA, camo, country, jersey, pajama, costume, and many more.
Well, on the football field, my favorite one was definitely the roller coaster. But in the Thunderdome, definitely when we were playing Lakes, there was this kid, he was probably a center, he had a beard, and his name was Brad. So Brad was getting mad all the time. The whole game he was getting mad. So I started to chant, Brad is mad. And at the end of the game, Brad wanted to beat me. And now we're going to the same college. But Brad is mad was definitely my favorite chant.
All right, thank you.
Superfanning means to me is bringing the school together in a place to, cheer on a sporting event, whether it's football, basketball. People don't really go to baseball, but other than that, it's just bringing the community together to just be as one, as a family.